3, 2, 1.
Around the board.
Yo, what's up, everybody around the boards? I'm Rob. I'm here with my buddy Dunk.
Hi.
Nice. No Dez this week. First time for everything, I guess.
Thank God.
So it's the Dunk and Rob show this week. We got episode 39. And I mean, first things first, Ovechkin wins the cup. I mean,
It's always the Dunk and Rob show.
it's always the Dunk and Rob show, but can we talk about Ovechkin? Do you think there's anybody that's ever wanted anything more than he won the Stanley Cup?
It was the Dunk and Rob show, and it's also the Ovechkin show. I think I don't think so. I don't think there's anything ever that's been won or achieved that has ever been as sought after as Ovechkin winning the cup. Like World War II, nah. Coming to America, no. Miracle on Ice, nah.
Ovechkin wants the fucking cup. And
The moon landing, nah.
I mean, just in like the last couple days at least, the videos of him just fucking around Washington with the cup, it's like ridiculous. Like, I don't think he's put the cup down once.
No, I put this in our group text earlier today. I was saying that I've liked Ovechkin for his entire career, but like this past probably year or two, I'm all in like fanboy of Ovechkin. I think he's awesome. And watching him take the cup to the baseball, what's the baseball team? Washington Nationals. and throw out the first pitch and just like be in the middle of the stands, like all the way out and let like left field with the Stanley Cup, or like swimming in the fountain with which appears to be other Capitals players. I'm not sure, but he's like swimming in the fountain in front of the stadium, half naked. He's just
doing push-ups,
doing keg stands in the parking lot with fans. Like
fucking nuts. Like he won there's no doubt that the Capitals were going to win the cup after those first, I would say, 3 games. After the game 2, when Holtby made that save, you just tell like the fucking Capitals turned it on. And I don't know if like the Golden Knights like kind of got like heartbroken when Holtby made that save and kind of like deflated them, but they just were not the same team.
No, I think they lost a little bit of momentum. I think they might have been a little cautious and overthinking things possibly.
Yeah, and kind of like you can just tell. Well, like before the season started, we all thought about their defense. Like, well, they're not very good. They don't really have like a top defensive pairing. And Nate Schmidt and Brady McNabb have been that top defensive pairing. But I don't know. Like you could just start seeing like as the games went on, just mental mistakes like by almost every player on the defense. Like just giving up the slot wide open. And I mean, Colin Miller, I think, is the one that really had the most like mental breakdowns besides like Shea Theodore in game 3, I believe.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Nate Schmidt and Brady McNabb still played pretty well, but they didn't do anything like outstanding to like warrant them a top defensive pairing. So I think going into the offseason now, the Golden Knights have to get like a good
defenseman. Yeah.
Like I was trying to explain this to my dad the other day. I was like, well, they need like a player like somebody like a Derek Engelland, but better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
somebody that's going to stay at home and play sound defense and a
veteran. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who's available, but somebody that's like Ryan Suter or Shea Weber or something that's going to, I don't know. But I think you started to see that the Golden Knights weren't as maybe talented and skilled as other teams. Like they were kind of just Fleury was carrying them. And then when he started to dwindle away towards even in the Winnipeg series, he kind of started to let in some goals and stuff. And then they kind of had to rely on him. And then when he started not playing good, you kind of realized, you saw their true colors and realized that they weren't as good defensively as Washington was offensively.
Right. Like Washington's power play is just unreal.
Yeah.
Like they take as soon as they drop the puck, if they win the faceoff, within 5 seconds, everyone's like in their spot set up. Ovechkin goes to the faceoff circle, just waits there, and everybody else just moves the puck. Everyone's moving around.
they win the face-off, and then it goes into the corner, then it goes back to the point, then it goes across to the other point, and then it goes across.
They just keep moving
the
that point. They keep moving the puck, and then all they're looking for every time is just as soon as they leave Ovechkin open for 10 seconds, or like they're throwing it over there, he's going to one-time it.
Yeah, even if he's not open, they'll
force it sometimes. Yeah,
yeah, like that one goal where the first goal in the game the other night when Backstrom just sauced it through five guys. Yeah. Which I mean, no, it's no joke that Backstrom is one of the best assist kind of center, players in the league, and he just made this disgusting, ragu pass through the middle.
Yeah.
And Ovechkin didn't even get a good shot off. He shot it right at Fleury, and it just bounced in.
Well, I mean, the shot was so heavy that it fucking bounced off Fleury twice. I think it hit his pad and his elbow or something like that, and still went in just because, like, even like it wasn't the best shooting angle.
No,
like he still got a lot on that shot, and it was on target on the net. So I don't know, but that pass was the play that made it.
Yeah, I think it was just from the start. I mean, I don't know. I wish I could have changed my prediction because we all wanted Washington to win, but we were going with the trend and saying that Vegas was going to win.
Yeah, because Vegas is just so hot. They only lost 3 games in the whole playoffs coming into the finals. They won game 1 in a shootout, which I don't know. Like if you're a Fleury and you give up 4 goals, you probably don't think you're going to win any games.
Yeah,
and then that's the only game they won is when he let up 4 goals and they scored 6.
So we've got the team with the worst inaugural season of all time, the Capitals, 44 years ago. I think they won like 8 games or something. I was listening, like they barely won any games, beating the team that had the best inaugural season of all time in the Golden Knights. Pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, and George McPhee put together the Knights, and he kind of put together that Capitals team with Ovechkin and Holtby and all those guys. So
he drafted Backstrom and Ovechkin and Holtby and that core, I mean, he probably drafted Kuznetsov, and he probably,
Backstrom
played a hand in getting Oshie. Like,
yeah, I mean,
basically the team that beat him, he made the team that beat him, and
and then so you think if you're George McPhee, you put the 2 teams in the Stanley Cup Finals this year, like
you can't be mad if you're George McPhee because I'm sure that he was probably still a little bit rooting for the Caps,
He's rooting for the Caps in the East during the whole playoffs, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But then he wants the Golden Knights to win because that's his team now, but
let's George McPhee, it should, his name should be on the Stanley Cup too,
Well, I mean, if you're the Golden Knights fans, you got to assume that someday soon it will be, because if he keeps building the Golden Knights the way he built the Capitals, it's only a matter of time before the Golden Knights win the Cup, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, they're heading in the right direction at least. I mean, they got the building blocks there. They got their first season done where they went to the finals where nobody expected. And now they got a bunch of cap room to work with this offseason, and they got some personnel decisions to make, like James Neal, David Perron, Ryan Reeves, I guess. Even though
I think they're
out of there.
I saw a thing. I think they're like 4th or 5th in the odds for winning the Cup next season or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Tampa Bay is the highest odds to win next season. So Washington's not even there, and they won the Cup.
Yeah, well, I mean, Washington, they don't know if Barry Trotz is going to be their coach next year or not. So
yeah, I guess. What do you just want to jump into that? Do you think he's going to?
I don't know. They got to re-sign him now.
Yeah, or I mean, he could probably retire though too.
He could retire, but I think he's going to sign for like 3 more years or something.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing. Like he could retire. I mean, so can Ovechkin, like we talked about before. But it's not going to happen. Ovechkin, you can just tell like how much fun he's having with the Cup now.
Yeah.
That like he's going to want to win it again next year or the year after or the year after. Like my feeling was before, I was like, well, if he wins the Cup, he's kind of accomplished everything that he wanted to in the NHL. So why not retire and just go back to Russia and like play out the rest of your days in the KHL where you fucking live and your family is and stuff like that, and all your friends are probably. But the way he's having fun with the Cup and the way that he just wanted it so bad, like I don't think there's any way that he's not coming back and he's not going to stay for another 5 or maybe 10 years.
Yeah, I think why not?
Like he might be mountain. Yeah, he might be the like next Jaromir Jagr where he just plays in like his 45s and like 50s and stuff.
I could see him. He already looks like he's that old.
Yeah, he does. But I mean, he's got like the work ethic and stuff now, and I mean, he's probably like once he gets a little bit older, he probably stop hitting as much and stuff like that. But he's going to have that shot forever, so he could very easily as well play. Yeah,
I mean, Jagr still has a sick shot too. Everyone's always talking about like, oh, what player's the most transformed player, the most I think Ovechkin's probably changed his game for the better within the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Like before, he was mainly just worried about offense, and he didn't really care about back checking or defense or anything like that. He said, "Just give me the puck and I'll score."
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, before probably this season, have you seen Ovechkin maybe block a shot, or have you seen Ovechkin make a pass until this season, or purposely make a pass?
And they said that he was being like more vocal in like the locker room this year and stuff like that, and that there's just no way that they weren't going to win the Stanley Cup the way he's playing.
Yeah, if you watch the celebration of them winning, if that didn't put a smile on your face, seeing him basically crying, skating up to the Stanley Cup, and if that didn't put a smile on your face and at least make you a little bit happy, then you're not a hockey fan and you just need to get out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Even if you're a Penguins fan and you despise the Capitals and you despise Ovechkin and you think Crosby is, walking on water and Ovechkin's nothing, if that doesn't make you happy, then you're not a hockey fan. Because, I don't want to watch Crosby win another Stanley Cup for 30 years in a row. That's boring. It's like watching the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
But anyways. So you think Barry Trotz is going to get a contract then?
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think so too. I mean, I don't
think he wants to retire.
It's his first Stanley Cup. He won Jack Adams 2 years ago, I think, the Coach of the Year 2 years ago, I think, with the Predators. Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then he
sounds right.
I think he's fourth or fifth all time in wins. I think he'll keep coaching just so he can try and get to, first place in wins of all time.
Build over wins. Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like he doesn't want to stop coaching. So, but you never know. He was
super happy too. I mean, you saw him celebrate
Yeah, but you see a lot of players in other sports too. As soon as they win the championship, they want to retire on top, which I totally understand. But
yeah, I could see him retiring, but I could also see him staying too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think Washington's going to give him a bunch of money to stay. Yeah, just because they finally won the cup. So it's like a reward for the rest of his seasons.
Yeah. So do you want to go over the game a little bit, or do you want to just leave it like that?
We go over the game a little bit. I mean, Ryan Reeves was taken out of the lineup for Game 5 finally. And it was Perron, Tatar, excuse me. And I think Carrier made his debut.
Yeah. To touch on last week's episode too, Tatar never had any cup runs with the Wings. He wasn't on the roster when they were last when you guys were talking about it before.
That's why I wish you were there last week.
Yeah, I know. Their last cup run was when they lost to Pittsburgh in 2009, and he wasn't even on the team then. So
that's when Fleury won. That's the last. I think that's the last time Fleury won the cup, when he wasn't the fucking backup. Because everyone keeps talking about Fleury like a 3-time champion.
He's only realistically
he lost to Detroit, then beat Detroit, and then he backed up Matt Murray the last 2 years in Pittsburgh.
Well, he lost to Detroit, and then he almost lost to Detroit again.
Yeah,
and then he backed up Murray. I mean, it's not knocking him at all, though. He's still a Hall of Fame goaltender. But but
I mean, it's like a backup quarterback winning the fucking Super Bowl, like a veteran backup quarterback. Okay, but you didn't fucking play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You think if Reeves was in, do you think it would have been a different game?
I don't know. I thought Game 5, the Golden Knights played super physical to start off, because you just knew they're desperate. And I was kind of surprised because wow, they're doing this without Ryan Reeves. They're hitting all these guys and stuff like that. And
Game 5 was probably one of their best games I've seen them play in all playoffs, actually, though. And they still. I mean, they made some mistakes towards the end and stuff. They gave up some goals, but
yeah. Well, fucking Devontae Smith-Pelly's goal I think that tied it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tied it up, and it was he blocked his own player's shot from the point, kicked it to himself, because Fleury came out to block the shot.
Yeah.
But then when Devontae Smith-Pelly blocks it, Fleury's down and out, so Smith-Pelly just turns around and scoops it in.
Talk about Smith-Pelly stepping up, though. He's the
whole finals.
Seven goals in the regular season. He had 7 goals in the Stanley Cup in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, most of them he had 2 or 3 in the finals.
Yeah, talk about a grinder kind of chippy player stepping up and carrying the team too. He doesn't get talked about at all, and they wouldn't be anywhere without him.
I know everyone's talking about Ryan Reeves and Tom Wilson, but fucking Devontae Smith-Pelly is doing the same thing and scoring goals, just Ryan Reeves versus Winnipeg.
Yeah, he matched his season total in the playoffs. Talk about that's when that's the time to step up. Talk about a player stepping up. I
don't know his contract situation either, but I'm sure he'll stay on Winnipeg Washington, excuse me.
Yeah.
So let's see. So Washington scored first. Golden Knights tied it up, and then Ovechkin, we talked about earlier on that power play from Backstrom, took the lead. And then Vegas had a 3-2 lead heading into the third. And then right there, I thought, well, yeah, I expect Vegas to win this game. I expected Washington to win in Game 6 at home.
Yeah.
But then, like we said, fucking Devontae Smith-Pelly blocks that shot. And then I think it's just like a couple minutes later, it was another like kind of like a weak shot that Fleury comes out and stops. And he lets the rebound just sit in behind him. And Lars Eller just scoops it in for a wide open net.
Yeah.
And that was the last goal. I mean, I don't know. Like, is it... Can you blame Fleury for not winning the Stanley Cup, or
I don't know. I mean, your defense is expected to clean up your rebounds, but
that last one was like super weak. I think the game winner from Lars Eller.
Yeah. Lars Eller, first player from Denmark to win the Stanley Cup.
And he played a fucking great finals too.
Yeah, he scored the game-winning goal.
Yeah, but I mean, before that, like when Kuznetsov, when he got hurt in Game 2, Lars Eller just filled in for him and fucking kept it up, and he was playing pretty physical. Like I remember Lars Eller when he debuted in Montreal, and fucking we're like, who the fuck is this like young kid that's like scoring all these goals? And then everyone forgot about him, and now he's like, I think Ovechkin had the biggest impact on Lars Eller by the way he played, because then Lars Eller started emulating Ovechkin by being a 200-foot player and finishing his checks and being like a grinder. And then you forget that Lars Eller just fucking score goals.
Yeah, it was certainly a team effort by the Caps, and that's what won them the game.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about the ending when Ovechkin's celebrating on the bench. It's a fucking weird ending to a Stanley Cup Finals because the arena game clock froze with a minute left while play was going on. So announcers had no idea how much time was left. The play just kept going. Announcers had no idea how much time was left. Kept going, like 6 icings. And then there's a big delay because they had to like review the time, and then they had the time right. And then there's another icing with like 0.6 seconds left. It's like, I don't know.
And then you get the Caps basically celebrating on the bench with less than a second left. And
yeah, well, I mean, because they iced it like within like 3 or 4 times in the last like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Or 50 seconds or whatever it was. And every time there's an icing, you just see Ovechkin fucking hug everybody and like walk up and down the bench, hugging everybody, grabbing everybody, jumping up and down. And then especially with 0.6 seconds left.
It was an interesting ending, but I'm glad. I'm happy with the outcome. I know we all picked Vegas, but secretly we all wanted Ovechkin to win the cup.
Yeah, but we all picked Vegas, and we all, like, if you go back to our predictions at the beginning of the year, or even for the playoffs, like, we got almost everything wrong this year. So
yeah.
So it's just fitting that we all picked Vegas,
except Winnipeg.
Okay, well, everything else. But it's just fitting that we all picked Vegas in 5, 6, or 7, and then Washington wins in 5. It had to be that way.
No, it was a good game though. I mean, I'm happy with the outcome. I would have been happy with the outcome either way, but
yeah, but I don't know.
I'd much rather see Ovechkin running around drunk with the Stanley Cup than any of the Vegas players.
Or any of the Vegas fans. That would have been the worst part.
God.
Like, the Vegas fans just got to realize, like, you guys had a phenomenal season. You guys went through, like, no adversity except for when you're playing your fifth-string goalie. But besides
sit down
that,
and be humble, you know?
Yeah. Even if they're fucking fifth-string goalie, you guys are still winning games. So it's like, you guys got to, like, know that eventually you're going to lose some games. You're not going to win every single game. So
yeah,
it takes time.
No, and finally, Ovechkin, you know, arguably the best player in the league, finally getting a Stanley Cup after being in the league for 12, 13, 14 years. Like
somebody else, like one of your other favorite players of all time.
Oh yeah. Well, I like him wearing his jersey.
That's great for a podcast, by the way. Yeah. Tell people what jersey you're wearing.
Yeah. I never knew this, weirdly enough. I don't know if this is like a sin being a Red Wings fan or not, but I never knew that Steve Yzerman didn't win a Stanley Cup until his 14th season with the team. Insane.
Yeah,
and then he won like 3 in a row after that. But like,
well, I'm sure he was the same way as fucking Ovechkin was this year. Where as soon as you get in that point where you can win it, like there's nothing going to stop you once you've like been to such lows and like you're just sick and tired of losing. And then you're finally in the finals. You're like, yeah, we're going to fucking win this now.
Well, when Yzerman got drafted, it was they were the Dead Wings. They were horrible. And then
that's why they got Yzerman.
But Yzerman arguably, you know, probably top 10, top 20 greatest players ever. And took him 14 years to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, not really many people talk about that. So
no, I've been a Red Wings fan for 25 years of my life, and I never knew that. It's insane to me. And then he went and won, 3, almost consecutively.
I mean, we could theoretically see Ovechkin doing the same thing here, where it takes him 13 years to win one, and then he goes on like a 5-year streak of winning 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like once you get that taste of winning too, like you want the next one even more. You're like, I fucking love this feeling. Let's just do this again every year. So,
yeah. So, I mean, if we're talking about great players that haven't won a Stanley Cup yet, there's a crazy long list that I've never even really thought about.
Well, first and foremost, Henrik Lundqvist is pretty obvious. Sorry, Dez. Yeah. But we all know that the Rangers have wasted away his best seasons.
Yeah, they killed his career, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they had their chance when they played the Kings in 2014. But
well, maybe not killed his career. He's had a great career. He's going to go – he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame, I would imagine.
But, yeah, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But like what me and Dez were talking about last week, I said there's 2 3-letter words that are similar but very, very different. It's but and. So – Lundqvist is a great player, but he'll
probably be looked at as one of the greatest goalies of all time that doesn't have a Stanley Cup.
Oh, for sure.
Unless he wins it next season miraculously or something.
Well, if they get John Tavares and Ilya Kovalchuk and all those other.
John Tavares doesn't have a cup either. Fun fact.
Well, obviously,
that sounds like he's playing Islanders, but also honorable mention: Ilya Kovalchuk's never won a Stanley Cup, so
he also had a chance against the Kings 2012, but
yeah. But
Kings are just heartbreakers, is what it is. Same as Joe Thornton.
Yeah,
21 years for Joe Thornton.
Him and Patrick Marleau, 21 seasons without Stanley Cup. I don't know how much longer. I know Joe Thornton had both knees blow out this year, so I don't know if he's going to even play again. But.
Well, I was going to ask you, I was like, who do you think who would, if any of them win a cup, who would win a cup first between Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau? Thornton on the Sharks. I mean, they look good with Evander Kane this year.
Yeah, but also I think Marlowe's probably healthier than.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be playing just to win a Stanley Cup. You could be a fucking healthy scratch just to win the Stanley Cup.
I don't know. I mean, the Sharks look good, but also like the Leafs made the playoffs with Patrick Marleau. Yeah. So
and the Leafs are much younger and they could only get better. And the Sharks, you think Joe Thornton was the captain and they had no captain and they put the captain on somebody else.
Pavelski.
Yeah. So like it might be if the Sharks miss the playoffs next year, they might be time to like blow up. They talk about it almost every year when they blow up the team and just start over. But the Maple Leafs have already done that, and they've already in the rebuilding phase. And so I mean, like we've seen with the Golden Knights this year, all you got to do is get a fucking hot goaltender and just ride them all the way to the Stanley Cup, and then fucking play your best hockey.
We've got a list here of looks like 8 players that are all-star, probably Hall of Fame players, and I don't know.
Well, we already talked about Lundqvist. We just talked about Joe Thornton.
Yeah, we've got
Stamkos, 11 years.
Stamkos. He'll probably win. I would see Stamkos winning a cup soon, probably within the next 5 years, probably.
Yeah, Carlson, I don't know, because he definitely won't win one in Ottawa, but if he gets traded or when he signs as free agent somewhere.
Yeah. Carey Price, too. Jesus, 12 seasons with him. So you get playing in Montreal.
People don't talk about Carey Price the same way you talk about Lundqvist, though, do they?
No, it's because he plays in Montreal, so he's always under the microscope.
Yeah, but I mean, Lundqvist, everyone talks about him being like past his prime and like, oh, the Rangers like wasted his best years. You could almost say the same thing about the Canadiens and Carey Price. Like Carey Price had phenomenal seasons where he won the Vezina and he won the Hart for being the best player, and like they still didn't win the cup.
Yeah, and they've barely been in the playoffs with Carey Price on their team too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he did miss like a full season with injuries or something.
Yeah.
So,
and then we've got Patrick Marleau, who talked about, John Tavares, who we kind of talked about, and then Roberto Luongo, 20 seasons without a Stanley Cup.
Well, I mean, you think he started off in Florida, went to Vancouver. He played against the Bruins when the Bruins won their cup against Vancouver. So
I think Vancouver was when he had his best chance.
Yeah, and now he's back in Florida.
Yeah,
and I don't think Florida's going to win a cup anytime soon. He'll probably retire without a cup.
Yeah,
he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
I've never thought that Luongo was like an incredible goalie, but like, I don't know. He's always been. I don't know. He also has won, Olympic gold too. So I mean, like, you can substitute
it's not like he's unaccomplished.
Yeah, you can substitute Olympic gold with the Stanley Cup any day of the week. So
I mean, you can with half these guys because they're all fucking Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's one other guy that we've failed to talk about yet, and he had his chance this year. James Neal, surprisingly, has never won the Stanley Cup, even though every year it seems like we talk about him being in the finals or like a finals hopeful trading for him at the trade deadline or something, and he's never won the cup. That kind of surprised me when I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every year he's kind of jumping from team to team that's like a contender, you know, like
he's like the modern day Marian Hossa.
Yeah, he's like LeBron James of hockey, except not as good.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, like you list all the teams he's been on there. Oh, I remember this team win the Stanley Cup. I remember this team win the Stanley Cup. Like, he wasn't on the team then. That's fucking weird. Like,
yeah, because he was on Pittsburgh, he was on Nashville, he was.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, Dallas. I think he was on Dallas, and Dallas wasn't that good. But you think when he was on Pittsburgh, he would have won the Stanley Cup because they've won so many recently. But
yeah, I mean, Dallas is good now. I mean, I could see. I don't know. I could see him going back to Dallas too. That'd be pretty sick too.
Yeah, but now it's 2 years in a row. James Neal on a Western Conference champion team, but does not win the Stanley Cup. Last year, the Predators. This year, Golden Knights. I don't know.
Maybe he's bad luck.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just snake bit or something. But
yeah, maybe.
So, do you think the Golden Knights re-sign him still, or?
I don't know.
I think he wants to stay.
I mean,
but I think he also wants a lot of money.
Veteran leadership, veteran goal scoring. Like he's probably the best situation for him to be in would be to stay. But
well, if you're James Neal and somebody else offers you a contract like, let's say Pittsburgh again, like as they're trying to get rid of Phil Kessel, he kind of takes up Phil Kessel's spot. You think he would go back to Pittsburgh to try and win a cup, or would he stay in Vegas and say Vegas is his best chance to win a cup?
I don't really know James Neal personally, believe it or not.
What?
But
I met him at a bar once.
He seems like the kind of guy that he wants to win a Stanley Cup. I don't know if he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's about the team, you know?
Well, he's about the team winning.
Well, yeah, but I don't think he's, like he doesn't have loyalty to a certain team and he doesn't care. So like, that's not knocking him at all because great players.
He just wants to win.
Yeah, he just wants to win. Like, look at who we talked about before. We talked about Ilya Kovalchuk and Marian Hossa and like all these great players that keep jumping teams to try and win.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the problem.
I don't know if he's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just don't know. Like, we talked about it in when he had that wide open chance from the empty net in the Stanley Cup Finals, hits the far post.
Yeah.
Like, does he just not show up enough in the finals? I mean, he did have that great goal in I think it was game 2 or was it game 1?
It was the first game they won in the finals, so game 2 where he knocked it down out of midair and.
Golden Knights only won one game in the finals, by the way.
Yeah. It was the only game they won in the finals.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a great play on his part. And he said, oh, shit, there's James Neal. He's going to come and play. And then ever since then, he scored a couple of goals, but did he really do anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if your original question was if Vegas and any other team offer him the same amount of money, would he stay in Vegas over going somewhere else?
I mean, maybe because Vegas has a good chance.
It seems like he likes playing for Vegas and likes being in Vegas and stuff. So I could maybe see it unless the Capitals turn around and offer James Neal a contract and he does a Marian Hossa and goes to this, the team that beat him or something or if Pittsburgh wants him back, I could see him going back to Pittsburgh or Predators. Yeah.
Or the Jets or somebody.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't see him going to a non-contender though.
I mean, if it's like $6 million from Vegas or $8 million from Arizona, he's going to take the $6 million from Vegas, I'm sure.
Yeah. But do you think if it's $6 million from Vegas and like $4 million from Pittsburgh, do you think he goes to Pittsburgh?
No, I think he stays in Vegas unless there's like a real good chance of him winning the cup next year and also making a lot of money.
I don't know. I'm not really on the James Neal train at all, so I don't care. But
he's a fan favorite here.
Yeah, so is every other player on the team.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's pretty much him and Fleury and Derek Engelland, I think. Oh, Marchessault's real popular too.
Yeah. Carlson's pretty popular too.
Yeah, so about the whole team, you're right.
I don't think I think the only player on the team that people don't like is most likely Ryan Reeves.
No, people loved him. People love him.
Yeah, some people do.
But everyone's for sure thinking that he's gone next year unless he signs like a fucking 2-way contract or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What team would sign Ryan Reeves?
I would take him on the Red Wings. I'd take him on my team.
Well, I mean, Red Wings might sign him.
Yeah,
they need players. They need players in general. So
yeah, they won't sign him though because they're trying to not play that kind of game. They want the speed and outside skill game, which the Red Wings.
That's right. They're an Eastern Conference team now. I forgot.
The Red Wings don't play the banging in the boards like even when we were in the West, we never played that good. That's why we kind of dominated the West for so long because we were playing a different style of hockey. And then we went
except
to the
for
East
that Bertuzzi guy.
Yeah, and Franzen and Holmstrom and stuff, but we never played the gritty game, and that's why we dominated the West for 25 seasons.
Speaking of gritty, Milan Lucic is back on the trade block.
Oh, God, I fucking hate Milan.
I will take him on the Kings again. I have his jersey. I like the guy. I think he fits in well with the Kings. But if I have a choice between Lucic and Kessel, I'm taking Kessel.
Yeah, obviously. Here you go. If you have a choice between Lucic and Dustin Penner, who are you taking?
Dustin Penner, obviously.
Hear that, Dustin?
Love you, Dustin. We're Snapchat friends now.
Yeah. Have
Jealous?
You guys snapped at all?
Yeah, we texted back and forth on Snap.
Oh, have you sent pictures yet?
I was thinking about sending him a dick pic.
Send him a picture of you wearing his jersey, but like no pants on.
I don't have his jersey.
Oh, we'll get one. They're probably super cheap now.
Sorry, I can't find one anywhere. That's the problem.
No. Just go on and make one.
Yeah, I found an Edmonton Oilers one, but I'm like, nah.
Nah.
But anyways, Lucic's being shopped, and Edmonton's willing to throw in another more attractive asset, which could be like a younger player, which could be just a draft pick, so it seems like just Edmonton just wants to move on from Milan Lucic. And like I said,
he doesn't play their style either. They want to play the speed game, and
well, I mean, they got him and Patrick Maroon, and Patrick Maroon played well with Connor McDavid, and Milan Lucic did not. So that's like they were hoping like Lucic would be the Patrick Maroon, and obviously Lucic I think is better than Patrick Maroon.
Basically, if you don't play well with McDavid,
you're off
gone.
the team.
Yeah, like you don't play well with Michael Jordan, you're getting traded.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I'd take him on the Kings if the price is right. I mean, he's making a shit ton of money, so we'll see.
Yeah, he gets paid. He gets way too much money,
which is why he went to Edmonton in the first place, because everyone was talking about him going to like Vancouver or something like that, because that's where he's from, and he chose Edmonton.
They opened the checkbook.
Yeah, he said, "Fuck it, I'll go there. I don't give a shit."
Yeah, I'll underperform for $10 million a year. That's fine with me.
Yeah,
not that he gets $10 million a year, but
I think he still makes a shit ton of money though.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the Stanley Cup. How about Ovechkin be the first Russian-born captain to lift it?
That doesn't surprise me as much as it probably did the first time I read it.
Yeah, as much as it should. Like,
I mean, because like, can you name me any other Russian captain? Like
Pavel Datsyuk.
He was never a captain.
He wasn't a captain?
He was an alternate.
Oh, he was a Lindstrom was there, and then
and Zetterberg.
Yeah,
and then Yzerman before both of them.
So there's always one player over fucking Datsyuk.
You think about like some of the greatest Russian players of all time. Like Pavel Bure was never a captain.
Also, I don't think Pavel Bure won a cup, did he?
No. I mean, Ilya Kovalchuk was never a captain.
I think he was captain of the.
Was he?
I think he was captain of the Devils.
I don't know. Like Sergei Fedorov was never a captain. Sergei Gonchar was never a captain. Like.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you think of any Russian that might have been a captain, they're not going to win cups because their team wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't name you any other captain in the league right now that's Russian besides Ovechkin.
Most of the captains in the NHL, I think, are either Canadian or like some Americans besides.
Or the Swedish captains too sometimes.
Like who? Zetterberg?
Zetterberg or one of the Sedins.
Sedin's retired now.
Well, yeah, but there was one of them was a captain. I'm not sure which one was the captain, but Erik Karlsson, isn't he the captain of Ottawa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if there's there's always a stigma with Russian players being quote unquote selfish and about themselves and whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just you thinking like how long Russians have been great at hockey. You think that eventually one of them would be captain that won the cup besides Ovechkin. So, or
even if you're thinking about like great Russian players right now in the league that aren't captains, like Kucherov or Tarasenko or
they haven't won the cup yet, so
like
doesn't even matter.
Like Radulov, like none of those guys are probably ever going to be captains of the team. I mean, Tarasenko could probably be captain of the Blues, but Peter Angelo is there, so that's never going to happen.
Right.
But like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even. Like, who would another Russian player be that could be captain? I can't even think of one.
My other second choice would have been Pavel Datsyuk if he was still in the league, but that's just because he's my boyfriend.
Yeah, and I completely forgot that he was never captain. I was like, damn.
Do you think it's because there's like a language barrier thing or something? Like,
I mean, maybe, but fucking captains don't have to be fucking vocal.
No, but it always helps.
Yeah. I mean, especially all the media requirements and stuff like that. So
yeah. But also, you never really see Ovechkin talking to media, like interviews and stuff. You never really see it, you know.
Well, you did after you fucking won the cup. That's the only player anybody wanted to talk to for good reason.
It's true. And he's doing everything. Oh God, I'm still so happy for him.
Yeah. What about Jay Beagle?
Yeah,
happy for him.
Yeah. There's a stat that Jay Beagle is the first player to win a championship in the 3 quote unquote professional hockey leagues in the United States, I guess. With the East Coast Hockey League, which I don't know, is that even a league still?
Yeah, it's like it's the one right below AHL.
Yeah, and
still.
then there's the American Hockey League, which is that the Kelly Cup, or that's a Calder Cup, and then the Kelly Cup what's the Kelly Cup? Is that the
ECHL?
That's ECHL, and then there's the Stanley Cup, obviously, which is the NFL. So
NFL, what?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I was saying Mike Richards, when he won the cup with the Kings, he was like the first player ever to win like a junior championship, a fucking gold medal, the AHL championship, and the Stanley Cup. But I don't think he ever played in the ECHL. So
Jay Beagle's always been like a nuts and bolts kind of like. Yeah. No one cares about Jay Beagle, but he makes an impact on your team.
I think he makes a lot of money still, though.
He wins faceoffs like a madman, and he's a great defensive player, but he's never really going to be on the stat sheet, you know.
Yeah, he had a lot of block shots in Game 5 too, I think.
Yeah. It seems like whenever the Capitals have a clutch faceoff to win, they either put Backstrom out or Beagle out. Like, insane, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. I can't think of anything else from the game that I thought was stand out. I mean, there was some cool stuff that happened like before the game and stuff, but like PK Subban being a commentator for a little bit was kind of neat. And
I guess. I mean,
they had.
You think he was there because of his brother?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got free tickets to the game. I don't know. And then they're
like, "Hey, PK Subban's here. Let's have him come on TV for a minute." Everybody knows who this guy is.
It was well, I mean, also too. I don't know if this is going to be a correlation or not, but like Willie O'Ree was there, and he like rang the horn for the Golden Knights. So he was like the first black player in the NHL. And
dude, Willie O'Ree's been all over the NHL.
Yeah,
like this year.
He's still alive?
Well, he's fucking tiny, first of all, and like I'm pretty sure he's like done like an opening ceremony in every fucking NHL city this year.
Yeah,
like every time you look around, he's in a different city, like doing something for an NHL team. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I don't even know how old is Willie O'Ree.
I don't think he's that old, but
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, he's obviously old, but I don't think he's like 90 or something like that.
They had Willie O'Ree was there, and then what's that girl's name? She was the first female NHL player. She played in like the preseason.
Yeah, and she played on the Las Vegas Thunder too. She's the goalie for the Thunder for one period.
Yeah. What was her name?
Fuck. It was like God damn it. I know her name too.
It starts with an M or something like something?
Yeah, well,
Manon, Reum, whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's why Subban was there, because they had Willie O'Ree there. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Or maybe Subban wants a job being a commentator or something.
Eventually, probably.
I would listen to PK Subban talk about, like, take Doc Emmerich's job.
Well, I mean, he's still going to play.
He still has 10 years left in his career. But,
At least, yeah.
The pregame ceremony in Vegas was just obnoxious,
over the top
per usual. Yeah. I mean, the panic. Did you see the Panic at the Disco thing? That was pretty cool.
No, that was horrible. Are you kidding me?
The performance was horrible. Like, the sound was horrible and stuff. But
yeah, they're sitting like 5 feet away from fountains and like 200 feet away from people. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
It was still pretty cool, though. I mean,
how's that cool?
I would have rather had them be on the ice and perform. But like, I think they filmed it the day before. Like, I don't even know. Like,
no, it was that day, because it was like super secret. They announced that Panic Disco would be performing the day before, but they said in a secret location at a secret time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and then in the middle of the night, people saw them setting up a stage in the Bellagio fountain. It's like, I think this is where Panic Disco is going to play.
Yeah. It was still cool. I mean, whatever. But
I mean, it was a good idea, but I mean, it could have been done better, probably.
Yeah. And then last thing I probably want to touch on too is they're no longer doing a first losers parade for the Vegas Golden Knights anymore. So,
well, they talked about it.
Participation trophies.
I think the city wants it and all the fans want it, but I don't think the players want it. They said, no, we don't want a parade for losing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fans just want to celebrate like how great of an inaugural year it was.
Yeah,
like,
they've been doing that all season.
Yeah, I mean, like the season's over and they just want to like say thank you to the team or whatever, blah blah blah, do all that stuff. And like,
I
you
see
guys
them doing like a banquet or like a charity thing or like a,
like
an
a town hall type meeting or something.
Yeah, or have like a have dinner with the Golden Knights and donate money or something, or like.
Well, I mean, they'll probably do that anyways, but.
Yeah, or having I don't think they're gonna.
They should have like a pep rally inside T-Mobile Arena, like one last time.
Yeah, like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because after teams win the Stanley Cup, they have their parade and they usually go inside to like a pep rally to like celebrate or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe they could just do like the pep rally part and just save the parade for when they actually win. If they would have had a parade for them losing, it's like unless they had it scheduled at the beginning of the year and just never told anybody.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have a parade for somebody losing, it kind of sets a bad precedent because then you kind of act like you're okay with losing or coming in second place. And then like it kind of diminishes when they actually do win the Stanley Cup, like how not special that would be because they've already had a parade.
Yeah, and also I feel like if the Knights did it, then they would do it every single year for every other team. Like the parade is
like
they would do it. They would do a Stanley Cup losers parade as
like
well.
Like a conference finals parade.
Yeah, like the parade should be for the team that wins. I don't care if your team is an inaugural season and they did amazing and there was a horrible tragedy and you want to celebrate as a city, whatever. Like,
yeah, do a pep rally. Like
do a pep rally. The parade is meant for teams that win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I mean, and plus they're going to raise a couple banners next year anyways already for the division championship and the Western Conference championship. So, I mean, they already have more banners than the fucking Coyotes. So,
looking at you, Dez. Where is Arizona at right now?
We get it, Dunk. We get it.
We get it. All right. I don't have an opinion.
Well, I don't think I have an opinion anymore either. I think that would about do it for this week.
No, but speaking of opinions, to our one listener, John? I want to know, yes, if you prefer or if you enjoyed having just a Duncan Rob solo episode. Maybe we'll post it on Twitter. Let us know what you think.
Because Des has a baby coming, so we're not sure.
Des is pregnant, so.
And this time it's not a food baby.
And it's not a food baby.
So we gotta make some executive decisions here coming up.
Yes. So would you like this to become the Duncan Rob primary show and then have Des be the reoccurring guest?
Or just a host?
Or just a host?
The hostess with the mostess?
Would you like to see more of John?
Yeah, special guest John.
John's not pregnant anymore.
It looks like it still, but...
Yeah, it looks like it.
Anyways, that'll do it for this week's episode. Just a finals recap, touch on those other stuff. I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week, but it should be interesting.
Well, next week we can maybe do a little, like there's a parade happening. We could maybe do a little thing or...
Yeah, we'll see. It should be the three of us, and it should be fun either way. Maybe we'll get some guests on here or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to... when are the NHL awards? I'm guessing that's probably going to be our next big episode is when the NHL awards happen.
I guess just go over the winners.
Or when free agency starts maybe or something.
That's in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. So follow us on all our social medias. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm sure we're available. I don't think they have podcasts on Pornhub yet, but if they do, try to search for us there. Good to know. And I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.